Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Turn your dial to find the frequency of the past.
Captain Advice.
Where the classic stories of mysteries, sci-fi, thrillers, and suspense are found waiting to be heard once again.
Another case for Nick Carter, Master Detective.
You'll find a variety of those stories here, in their original form, where each episode takes you to another place or time.
The Man of Bronze, Doc Savage.
But only when you find the mystery frequency. Available everywhere.
The shadow knows.
Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is One Demonic Shapeshifter from Murder.
There's demonic shapeshifters in the world.
A little bit, just a little.
Here
They're
I thought,
closer, and they're closer to you than me, so
I mean, because I've got my portal. That could be why.
that's part of it.
So this must be in Colorado or someplace.
No, but it's definitely a lot further west than Illinois.
Damn it. All right. Now let me find out what demons I have to fight. Okay.
Yep. All right. Are you ready? As ready as you're going to get anyway.
I guess I need like my crosses.
Yeah. You better
They're
get
all
some stuff
upside
out
down in
there.
here. What
Oh,
happened?
God. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
Here's our, okay. And we got to tie it into 13, right? So.
Ooh, yes. Already. You have a 13.
On the afternoon of Saturday, June 13th, 1987, the nude body of a 40-year-old Navajo woman named Sarah Saganitso was discovered.
Okay. So we've got the Navajo.
Yeah, she had multiple stab wounds and lacerations on her body. Her left breast had been bitten off. You know, this is the second story I've done where breasts were bitten off.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your thing with tits, dude?
I don't know. I don't know. But I realized that as I was like writing the story, I was like, why do I keep finding?
Why do I keep finding? You're all about the boobs.
I'm all about the boobs. I don't know.
All right. Well,
she had been found between rock crevices on a wooden hillside behind the Flagstaff Medical Center where she worked.
Arizona.
So Flagstaff, Arizona. Right?
Okay. Shit.
Her face was so bruised that she was not immediately recognizable by her friend and coworker who found her.
Oh my God.
Her name was Helen Jaramillo or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, she was like, she didn't recognize that it was her friend at first. She just found a body and then she saw her hair and then it was like, well, that's got to be her, but she didn't recognize her and she knew her, right?
Oh my God, it must have been bad.
Right. During the autopsy, Sarah's actual cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation by suffocation.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She had also suffered head trauma and bruising and abrasions to her upper body and legs. They were unable to determine if she had been sexually assaulted. The tests came back inconclusive. It's also 1987, so the technology wasn't as good.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
that's
blah.
true. Okay.
You know, Sarah Louise I had it before. Saganitso.
Okay, got it.
Saganitso. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Sarah.
She was born August 6, 1946 in Tuba City, Arizona.
Oh.
She had 7 brothers and 7 sisters.
Whoa. Hey.
Big family.
And that probably has, yeah.
Called, what was it? 7, or was it 7 wives for 7 brothers?
Yes.
Something like that,
something like
really
that. Yeah. I was just thinking maybe that has a Native American, like the number 7. I remember.
Yeah, well, except she makes it 15.
Oh, right. Okay. Never mind
Because
then.
now it's 8. I know. I tried to check. There wasn't a lot of information on her specifically. I couldn't even find a picture of her.
That's what happens with a lot of the indigenous. I know.
Yeah, not at all. So,
okay.
This was that was information I got straight out of her obituary. So I'm assuming it's fairly.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, because the family probably wrote it.
Right.
All right.
She had been a housekeeper at the Flagstaff Medical Center for 17 years.
Holy balls. My back hurts from thinking about
Just
that.
thinking about it, right?
I can't even clean my own house.
Typically,
without hurting. Yeah. Anyway.
She typically worked the day shift, but on June 12th, the day before she was found murdered, she worked her very first night shift.
Oh no. See, this is why she didn't want to work the fucking night shift, y'all.
Right. She was last seen at 10:55 p.m. by a custodian, and her shift ended at 11.
Oh, wow. Okay. 10:55, you said?
They saw her at 10:55. Her shift ended 5 minutes later. No one remembered seeing her after 10:55.
Okay.
She never made it home.
Yeah.
She was the mother of a 4-year-old son named Elvin.
Oh no.
And since Elvin.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm. But like with an E instead of an A. So not like Elvin and the Chipmunks, but Elvin.
It's better.
Like Elvis, but with a V.
But with it, it's like it's cute. I like it.
No,
Elvin.
Anyway.
Baby Elvin. Yeah. Okay. 4. That's cute.
Her friends and family were alarmed because they're like, she would have come home for her kid, right? She didn't come home to take care of him. So they called the hospital and they were told, nope, she left. They drove to the medical center and her truck was still there.
Oh no. Right. So they knew she hadn't.
Yeah. So they looked for her. They, they kind of waited around a little bit. And at 11:30 a.m. the next morning, they called the police and filed a missing persons report.
Okay.
Her body was discovered 3 hours later.
Oh my gosh. Because it was kind of an area that people didn't walk to.
No.
Because it was rocks, you said, like rocky.
Yes.
Ooh,
so her body was found on the southwest side of the building.
Okay.
But her pickup truck was parked on the opposite side of the building on the east side. Which was really weird. So it's not like
she went on a trail for a walk or something, especially at that time.
Not at 11 o'clock at night, right? But it's weird because it's like it's not like
she went out on that side of the building
way to the car,
right?
Because she
was
on
someone
the complete
purposely took her up there.
Yeah, right.
Well, if someone told me there were kitties and puppies up there, I'd probably be like, "Oh, let me help go save them."
Look, we talk to our children about that. Candy, puppies. Yeah.
Do as I do, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that staff typically didn't like to park on that side of the building because it was very poorly lit.
Okay, so she was doing the right thing. She was parking in the right spots.
She parked on the other side where it was better lit.
Okay.
More towards the front of the hospital, right? So, her clothing, her purse, her hospital ID badge, and her prescription glasses, everything was missing. It was just her body.
Whoa.
None of her personal belongings were with her. So during their investigations, detectives learned that Sarah had just completed, they have to do the whole we have to know our victim to see who potential suspects are, right?
Okay. Yep.
So they looked into her. And she had just completed a course offered by a group called Native Americans for Community Action to improve her English reading and writing skills. So maybe she was looking to leave the medical center and do a different job.
Do
maybe
something
she was
else.
Done with housekeeping. Maybe housekeeping wasn't going to be enough to keep up with her growing 4-year-old son, who was eventually going to eat a lot more.
And it takes a freaking toll on your body. It's not easy work.
Yeah. She'd done it for 17 years.
Yeah. No shit.
So she was trying to better herself. She was trying to
trying to get her place a better place in the world. All right.
And also, she had recently had an issue with her supervisor and was sent to, I use this in quotes, cleaning classes.
What?
For 6 weeks.
What? Come on, that's excessive, it seems like.
6 weeks to learn how to clean?
Yeah, come on.
That seems
Is this like a weird detention or something?
Right? And she'd been doing it for 17 years.
Yeah,
You're telling me she needed that much training?
No, there was something going on. It was like over demerit Like, oh,
right?
You're going to learn your fucking lesson. Here you go.
And after finishing these classes, her shift had been changed to the night shift.
Oh.
And this was her very first night shift that day.
So this dude had it in for her. Or chick. This person had it in.
Someone had it. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Assholes.
So, so she finished her cleaning course to learn how to properly mop, whatever. I don't know.
That sounds like
then she was reassigned to the 3 to 11 p.m. shift.
Okay.
The other thing that I just wanted to note that I found was interesting was Sarah was losing. People said that she was starting to lose her hearing, or she was just recently fitted for she was either recently fitted for a hearing aid, or she was thinking of going for one.
Okay. So
but I
she
thought
might
that was
not
a
have
special
heard.
note. Like if she was like, I don't know, at night walking, leaving her job, she couldn't hear someone.
Yeah, you can't hear someone come in.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's
right?
scary.
So okay.
Absolutely, that could be a thing.
But other than that, they didn't really know what to go on. So police reached out to the public for information with any tips, any leads on the murder. They told people to be on the lookout for her clothing, her purse, her identification. They like described what she was wearing that day because she had like a certain hospital uniform.
Oh, right.
And she would have had a hospital ID badge and
weird. Okay. So all of that's gone.
Yeah. If anyone finds this in a dumpster, like say something, right?
God, it could be gone so easily.
The medical center held a press conference. So they to say that they would be immediately installing better lighting if
Thanks. After the fact. Thanks.
Too late.
Yeah.
And I thought this was kind of an asshole thing, but if requested, employees could be escorted to their cars after their shifts. I'd be like, no, I think we're just going to do it.
Yeah, let's just do this, especially after it's already happened.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that being an option when I worked at a mall in college, and I was same thing. Like,
it was right.
I'm a woman working night, finishing at 11.
But if you closed, there was like nobody there to walk me. Like, who was going to walk me?
I know. Maybe they had the guards. I don't know if they still did at that time.
I don't know. There were a couple times I had to make bank drops too, and I had cash.
Me too, and it's scary.
In a zipper thing.
Scary.
Yeah, freaked me out.
I know.
Oh, anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Glad I don't do that.
Things guys don't think of. I mean, seriously, I don't think those thoughts even cross their mind.
No, they just probably go do it, right?
Yeah. Anyway.
To be honest, the case went cold really fast. They had no leads. They were like, we got nothing. So for 3 months, there was no movement.
Oh, was it like typical Indigenous people? They ignore a lot of those too and be like, we'll look into it. Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's 1987.
Oh, I'm sure there was a lot of,
Right. So 3 months, no leads. God. Then on September 1st, this happened in June, right? So September 1st.
Oh my God.
All of a sudden in the news, everything I got was from newspapers. There was I've never seen a story on this. I've never seen a TV show, nothing. On September 1st, it was announced in the newspapers that police had arrested a man named George William Abney and charged him with first-degree murder.
What? Okay. Did her family even know about this? It sounds like they're not releasing some information. Yeah. Okay.
So George Abney was 35 years old. At the time of the murder, he was living just north of the hospital in a house with 3 roommates. And he had been working as the night manager for about 2 months at a nearby motel.
Okay.
So
so the
shadier.
Yeah.
Than a hotel.
Roadside.
Right. So he lived and worked nearby. So I guess that
that would give him some advantage in being able to be there at the
opportunity.
Right time. Opportunity. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, there you go. So George Abney was an active member of the Flagstaff Tabernacle Church. On August 15th, so 15 days before he got arrested, he had called his minister, whose name was Floyd Patterson, saying that, these are quotes from the articles I read, he was having mental problems and having issues distinguishing fact from fiction.
Yeah, that's we're going to refer you to the hospital then.
Red flag.
Red flag. Yeah.
But he also told his minister that he was planning on committing himself to a mental hospital for treatment.
Okay. So he was like, well aware that something's
not
weird.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And I need some help. Right.
Good. Okay.
Which I thought was pretty good for 1987.
Very self-reflective. Oh, yeah. Right? Absolutely.
And
you're right.
It's not
you're
like
right.
mental institutions had like a really good rap in 1987.
No. So most people probably just took drugs or drank to, we'll make the voices go away.
Exactly. So he also told his minister, Floyd Patterson, that he had a very disturbing dream about a murder, and that a few days later, he read a newspaper article about Sarah's murder and became physically ill.
Oh, so that's not a real link, but okay.
Right.
I mean, especially if he's saying he doesn't really know if things are real or not.
What he said to the minister was, I might have done it.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah. And there's that whole, like, there's, I don't know, confidentiality things when it comes to reporting stuff to your minister, unless...
Right.
I believe there's that whole clause about like if people are
admitting
in danger,
to a crime or something. Oh, right. You're right. Danger to themselves or others, like saying they might do something.
Well, Minister Floyd Patterson had a personal connection to this murder investigation because his daughter Susan worked at the hospital.
Ah, okay.
And her husband happened to be Detective Jerry Blair of the Flagstaff Police.
So they're like, yeah, we might want to talk about this with the police.
So, a few hours after his phone call with George Abney, which he probably was like hemming and hawing about, do I report this?
Yeah.
Do I not report this?
Is this legal?
He decided to report the murder to his son-in-law. He's like, look, I got to tell you.
Go on the safe side. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys do what you want with it. Right.
Right.
Well, they were like, oh, well, I think we want to talk to him. Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
so he's, we'll talk to him. Right.
Uh-oh.
Okay. But when detectives tried to go talk to Abney, they learned that he had left Arizona to visit relatives in South Carolina.
Interesting. Yeah.
Especially since he was going to check himself into a
mental
hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought, well, maybe what I just need is a vacation.
Maybe I just need to get away.
Right.
With family.
I should just go visit Meemaw.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need some quality time with Meemaw. And
it makes me think of Mitch McConnell. My brother always refers to Mitch McConnell as Meemaw. like he's a pioneer woman or something. I don't know. Okay.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
Sorry.
Okay. So they're like, okay, well. So anyways, I don't know exactly how long he was in South. It couldn't have been very long because obviously he was arrested in September and there's been 15 days. So I don't know, maybe he went for a week or whatever. But after going to South Carolina, I guess he picked up his stuff and moved 300 miles south to Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Oh.
So he went on, he admitted this to his minister. He went to go visit Meemaw. And then decided,
and then he goes down south. Like, I better move away.
Stay in Flagstaff. I'm going to go move somewhere else.
Just in case I really did do this.
I don't know.
Oh no.
Maybe there was a good hospital down there. Maybe.
Maybe,
I don't know, but I didn't have that information.
Right.
So I don't know. But again, that was like, okay, that's red flag number 2, according to police. Like,
kind of running. Right.
This is weird.
Okay. But you got to be careful interviewing possible mental illness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, they ended up finally getting a hold of him, and George Abney voluntarily drove to Flagstaff to be interviewed.
Okay. Wow.
That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, that's a good sign. Like, okay, yeah.
Not like he picked up and went to Mexico. He was like,
he actually was like, yeah, I'll talk to
you guys. He actually was interviewed twice.
Okay.
He was video recorded where he described to detectives his dream.
Okay.
Where he said he was pursuing, this is in his dream, a Hispanic man who had murdered a woman near a hospital.
Oh.
So he said in his dream he hadn't murdered the woman, but he was pursuing a man that he saw murder a woman.
Wow. Okay.
Near a hospital.
Weird.
He also let them know that he thought his dreams were a message from God.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he thought that like
he's having visions.
He's psychic, right? And he's going to help him solve the murder. It was a little weird, right?
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. But detectives, red flag number 3, were like, some of your details sound a whole lot like the real deal. Now, he had read about it in the newspaper, though, too.
If you get some of those details, unless there's something they didn't release.
Yeah, it was just a little weird, right?
Okay.
And then George Abney voluntarily agreed to a dental exam.
Okay.
Right? Because they said her breast was bitten off, right? So he
I
was like,
didn't know it was bitten off. Why did I think you said cut off? Maybe I just blacked it out because I was like, that's horrid.
Right? You were just like,
don't bite that shit. No.
I thought I said it was bitten off.
You might have.
They thought it
you
looked like
did.
it was bitten off, right?
That's horrible.
So, and a dental expert from Las Vegas concluded that the bite marks on her body were a match to Abney's dental impression.
Okay.
So, 3 strikes, 4th strike is the
dental
impression.
Dental. Okay.
So he was arrested and charged with her murder. Okay.
All right.
Little background on George Abney. Don't have a lot. He was born, I think it was Ohio or something like that. Iowa. It was somewhere in the Midwest instead,
somewhere.
Right?
Okay.
He had lived in Flagstaff for about 10 years. He had attended Northern Arizona University. In 1986, the year before, he received his master's degree in English.
Wow.
From the Northern Arizona University there in Flagstaff. While in grad school, he had taught freshman English for 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Okay. So he doesn't sound like
an accomplished dude. Yeah. It's not like he's some run of the mill. Okay.
Right. Doesn't sound like the night manager of a motel.
No, that's true.
Right?
Good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. They interviewed some of his former students and they said, well, he was a good teacher. He was a little odd. He had told some strange stories, like in the course of class about his childhood that some of them said were kind of troubling. Like, oh, that's not a good childhood, and he was just sharing experiences, I guess,
Maybe you could all relate to this.
Right.
But
like,
no, let's not talk about that. I just wanted to learn about Shakespeare. But okay.
Remember when you all got locked in the basement for 4 days without food and water by your parents? I'm sorry, what?
I didn't have the same childhood.
No, very different experiences.
Yeah. Thus the mental problems. Right. Yes.
There was no, that's all I got was troubling.
Okay. Well.
It also came up during class when he was telling students things, sharing stuff about himself, that he was losing his hearing. Thought that was also kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I also want to know why all these people under the age of 80 keep losing their hearing in this area. Is it very loud in Flagstaff? What's going on?
Yeah. What they're doing? It's Arizona, which is kind of close to Nevada, which had Area 51. So.
And the atomic bomb testing?
Yes, actually. Yeah. They had all the testing. So, maybe some radiation and aliens.
I think the government owes them some hearing aids.
Yeah, at least.
Just saying. Okay, well, now we're starting stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory.
Anyway, okay. So George Abney went on trial in June of 1988, about a year after the murder.
Wow.
Okay. He pled not guilty. The prosecution claimed that George Abney had confessed to the murders during his investigation or during his interviews, right? And his defense argued that he was coerced by police into believing he committed the murders while he was in a mentally distressed state.
That was what I was talking about. Like, you can't just interview without like therapists and stuff there to be like, okay, this doesn't sound like
it didn't sound like he had a lawyer with him or anything. So,
oh God. Okay. Yep.
So prosecutors showed the jury his taped interviews, which I believe it was hours and hours of it. These poor people had to sit there and listen to all this, right? They saw detectives ask George Abney if he might have killed Sarah.
Whoa.
And on tape, he said, "I'm sorry, I don't remember."
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I'm being honest. Yeah.
Right? Several times in their interview, he told them, "I think I need professional help." He didn't ask for a lawyer, but he did say he thought he needed professional help.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Hint. I shouldn't be, talking to you.
In the interviews, he told detectives that he was molested by a man when he was 6 years old.
Oh.
But again, like, they
definitely needs help.
Right. Yeah. But was that also something he was just thinking?
Right.
Obviously, this is not all on the up and up.
Right.
You
right.
know what I mean? Like,
We need
this is
professional
like some really
advice in here.
shady stuff going on
yeah.
here.
Oh no.
At the very least, he needs a lawyer.
Totally.
The jury heard how George Abney's teeth matched the bite marks found on Sarah's body.
Mhm.
However, the defense called another expert that claimed that they were not bite marks at all,
Oh.
that her breast had been removed actually by a very dull instrument or a serrated knife.
I mean, either way, be awful.
If we
So
could just get past the whole part
Can we
that it was
just
her
not-
breast that was removed. It was,
yeah.
It was,
It
so
was
either
something.
he's got teeth that look a lot like a dull serrated knife,
Mm.
or
He's like a shark. He's
right.
got shark teeth. Yeah.
I don't know. So we
Okay.
got one expert saying one thing. We got another expert saying another thing.
Yeah.
Right. The prosecution also called a local waitress to testify, saying that George Abney was almost obsessed with newspaper articles about the murder.
Okay, that is a little shocking.
It's
but
a
if
little
he thought
weird.
he dreamed about it, maybe he would be like looking into it. Like, is this a vision from God?
Right.
Is he trying to tell me something?
Exactly. Should I go to the police and tell them, like, I know what the killer looks like? You're looking for a Hispanic male
Yeah.
about old.
But it
yada,
was a
yada.
vision
I don't
from
know.
God, and they're not going to believe that. Yeah, type of
Right.
thing. So,
Okay. But he was
okay.
obsessed with it. But okay. I mean, but then when it was time for the defense to present their case, they had an alternate theory. They said that evidence at the murder was consistent with a demonic shapeshifter from Navajo witchcraft called a skinwalker.
I've heard of skinwalkers. Okay, so how are they going to prove a skinwalker is real? Like,
just you wait, Kelly.
Okay.
We've already railroaded a mentally disturbed man.
Yeah, let's
just
see
wait.
Now he's going to have real nightmares. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Okay.
So this is what got me on this case. Okay, because I know a little bit about skinwalkers, but I'll get into that. Okay. So a skinwalker, for those who don't know, is a harmful Navajo witch. Although it's not limited to Navajo, but Native American, a couple of different Native American tribes have skinwalkers or believe in the skinwalker.
Yikes.
So this Navajo witch or Native American witch has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal or another person.
Yikes. No thanks.
Or they can possess another person, or they can possess an animal.
Ew.
They are the antithesis of Navajo values, meaning they perform malevolent.
Yes.
Malevolent. Ooh, that's a hard one. Ceremonies using manipulative magic, which is in stark contrast to the beneficial works of medicine people. So this is completely different than a Navajo medicine man.
Yes, it's the anti. Okay.
Right? Oh God, this one's going to be bad. In the Navajo language, Naladalushi, that's the best thing to be able to do. It translates directly to, by means of it, it goes on all fours. So that's their word for the skinwalker. Skinwalker is like the English word for it. That, what I just tried to say, is the Navajo word for it.
Okay.
And it means it goes on all fours, right? Let's see. They might possess living animals or people, walk around in their bodies. Skinwalkers can be male or female.
Okay.
It's not gender specific.
Right.
They're very gender fluid, and all, for Pride Month, it's all,
it's there. It's all inclusive.
Right.
It could be anything. All right.
So, there you go. So the reason this caught my attention is, so my husband and I, we watched The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, I did. I've watched that too.
Yes, it airs on the History Channel. We've watched it all. We're currently in season 5.
Oh my gosh. It's still going.
Oh yeah.
Holy balls.
All kinds of stuff. Okay.
I guess we should go there and find out.
Oh my God. So this is an infamous ranch in northern Utah, where this actual skinwalker ranch, where there is a huge number of strange things that have happened for decades. Okay?
Like the drained cows and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So besides these skinwalker sightings that happen all the time, right? Which the skinwalkers have been seen on the ranch, on or near this large mesa that's on the north side of the ranch. there have been just countless UFO or UAP sightings. There's
Right.
bizarre animal mutilations. And then the mutilations and stuff, like they decay in ways that defy science. Like there's like
weird like electrical phenomenon, right? And
oh
stuff
yeah,
some
like
weird
anybody
shit.
who brings a battery or a phone on
That's
there,
right. It gets
stuff
drained.
gets jacked
Yeah.
up or drained immediately. Like it's some
Right.
weird ass shit, right?
Ugh.
And then there's certain people who have never been to the ranch, or even people who have worked on it, that have these really weird medical experiences that happen to them.
Oh, I kind of remember watching. Okay, yeah.
They like get ill.
Yeah.
People pass out. They get there. And
Maybe
a
it would
lot of
fix mine
times
because I'm so fucked up. It would be like I'd go there and
you should
reverse
go there
everything.
and it'll like, yeah, it's like the opposite effect.
It'll be, yeah.
Yeah, especially if they do anything to disturb the ground there. If anyone digs or anything,
Okay, yeah, go
shit
dig.
goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a cool show. Like it is just like
Interesting to watch.
Of stuff that goes on, right?
All right.
And there have been rumors for decades that there is some kind of underground tunnels under the mesa, and that possibly there's some kind of UFO buried inside the mesa.
Ah, okay. So that's where Area 51 put their stuff. They were like, we're going to Utah.
Right, exactly.
Put it in Utah.
So, there's all kinds of shit, and the Skinwalker is just one of many problems that they have there, right? There's this other show that we watch with my kids called Expedition X that's on Discovery. Okay. And they go all over the world and they investigate like paranormal stuff and legends and whatever,
like
right?
Chupacabra. What about the tiny aliens of Mexico?
Remember I've seen this one. The creepiest one was the Island of Dolls that's like off the Amazon River.
Are there really dolls there?
It is an island covered in just doll heads and stuff, and it is creepy as fuck.
Oh, that's
creepy as fuck.
Yeah, dolls freak me out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we did watch one recently, an episode where they went to investigate skinwalkers. And there are people like the people who live in the area where the skinwalkers are. Like, it's a lot of people who are like, oh, they either have had an experience or they know somebody who had an experience, and it's someone they know well enough that they're just like, it's not a rumor, man. Okay. But they interviewed someone who they were told never pick up hitchhikers.
Oh God.
Not because they could be serial killers, but they could be skinwalkers.
Okay, that doubles that.
Right?
That doubles the flags. Do not pick them up. I don't care. Ooh.
And if you do see someone walking alone on a road at night, look at their feet, because when they take the form of a human, their feet stay hoofs. I know, right?
That's horrifying. Okay.
It is horrifying. Okay. So now that I've given you a little
nightmare
info on skinwalkers, like this is like a widely known thing in this area. So maybe the people of Flagstaff, like the average Joe at Flagstaff, doesn't know, but anyone Native American or who lives in the area where they like
right.
People
it's
know
a thing. It's a thing. Okay.
Right.
Sounds horrifying.
In court, Sarah's sister Rosemary testified for the defense.
Okay.
That at least I think it was for the defense, that Sarah was uncharacteristically fearful in the days before her murder.
Oh.
And that 4 days before she was murdered, she had used the Navajo word ye, which is actually the beginning of their word for skinwalker, which translates to fear, and that she physically trembled when she was talking about it.
Whoa.
So she was
freaked out
about
her.
something, right?
Okay. But she wouldn't talk about it. Like she didn't tell him anything.
Yeah. That's all they got out of her. Was that she was really scared about something. So there's that. It could just be like, she's like, I don't want to do the fucking night shift. I don't know. I think that's enough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But, just saying.
The shitty supervisor who puts you through how many weeks of cleaning
6
camp?
Fucking weeks of cleaning camp. What the hell?
No, fuck off.
I mean, God.
I don't want one day.
Week 1, dusting. Week 2, floors. Like, well, I don't understand.
Toilets could be its own week for sure.
God. A week of toilets. All right. So an Apache shaman named William King was called to testify. After being shown a picture of Sarah's truck, he shuddered on the stand and identified what he called grave grass next to her truck in the picture.
What the fuck is grave grass? It sounds horrifying.
Yes. It is something used by Indian witches to foretell death of people or to cast a spell of death on people.
And that's what he said. Oh my God.
That's
Did he
what he
refer
said
to it
was
as Indian?
What? Yes, he did. That's why I used the
Okay.
word Indian, because I
Figured.
was taking it directly from the paper.
I figured.
Sorry.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's creepy.
so he said there was grave grass, which of course the prosecution was just like, it's just some dirt in front of her truck. I don't know, right? Just saying.
Weird.
The defense also had Barry Tompkins, a folklore expert from Utah State University, testify, and he told the jury that a single animal hair found in Sarah's breast wound and a single one found in her mouth. Odd, right?
Yeah.
Now, although, like, I have cat
Right.
hair.
I probably have hair in my mouth right now. True.
Do you ever get those cat hairs stuck in your bra?
It's like they poke the whole time in
It's like a tiny dagger.
I know, they're awful.
I don't know how they always get trapped in my bra. It's not like I ever
get
sleep
that
on my
too.
bras.
And you're like digging at your bra. What is it?
Right, it's the worst, and it's
Yeah.
just so uncomfortable. So
that's how it got
yes,
in her
this
bra
is weird,
and in her
but
mouth.
I can also say they didn't say what kind
True.
of animal. I don't know if they
True.
tested. They just said she had a single animal hair in her mouth
Yikes.
and one in the wound where her breast was.
Ouch. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, that's odd. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he testified that having that there, those single hairs, that was similar to skinwalker folklore, where that the skinwalker would shoot animal hair into their victims with a blowpipe. I have no freaking idea why, but
well, that's like tarantulas, how they're supposed to like they could shoot hairs. No.
Dude, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Ugh. No. Okay. Ugh. Okay, that creeps me out so bad.
It's only when they're very aggressive.
So, but a little weird that she was found completely naked and she's got single animal
Yeah,
hairs.
very much so. It's not like, so if there was an animal there'd be a lot more hair.
Right? It's weird that there was a single hair.
Yeah, single.
Anyway, but okay. So this folklore expert also testified that a picture of her body, there was a broken stick that was placed across her neck, and it was very specific. He said it was placed there specifically because it symbolized cutting off a person's wind in Navajo culture.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
So, all right. He also said the removal of her breast was consistent with legends of skinwalkers that would remove parts of their victims, such as noses and fingertips and toes.
Jesus.
So not breast, but other
smaller
parts, right? And that later those parts would be ground into what they called corpse powder that they would use for ceremonies.
Oh.
Right?
Yikes. Okay.
And he also said that blood found on a rock, or it was brought up in testimony that there was blood found on a rock nearby her body and that it was animal blood. But again, that could be coincidence.
True.
There was just a lot of weird coincidences that were very consistent with this whole skinwalker
lore
business.
Okay.
Right? The defense team also said that at the time of his police interviews, George Abney was in a seriously distressed mental state.
Okay.
And he was confessing to a number of things in these interviews, such as like some serious shit like disembowelments and stabbings.
Oh my.
That the police had no link to any other crimes in the area. Like he's just
having disturbed thoughts, like a lot of really disturbing
thoughts, right? It's just that this one had some correlations to something that actually happened.
It kind of fit up to something.
Right. Defense also brought up that George Abney only confessed to police after they told him the bite marks on the victim conclusively matched his teeth.
Oh. Come on.
So he was like, oh. Well,
that must have been me. Yeah. And plus he's already mentally disturbed right now. So
right. So he's very pliable. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God.
And you know how I said like the prosecution had one witness and then the defense had okay. So throughout the course of the trial, right?
Okay.
They actually had two experts from the prosecution agree that the bite marks were a match.
Okay.
And then there were 3 for the defense that claimed they were either not a match or not bite marks at all.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, you guys don't freaking know.
It's okay. So we need to just throw this out. This isn't even evidence.
We need to just like
okay.
not consider
That's not
that
even
whatsoever,
anything.
right?
Yeah.
So if you take away the bite marks,
Yeah.
right? If you take away that part, there was no other physical evidence to link George Abney to the murder. There was no blood of his, fingerprints, hair,
nothing
else, right?
Yeah, other than his confession, I guess.
Other than his confession.
Yeah.
That he gave after telling them a bunch of disturbed stuff, and they said, well, your teeth match.
Well, this one fits to something. Yeah.
Right. So the defense also, they didn't say it out loud, like they hinted to the fact that Sarah had a former boyfriend who was a practicing member of the Native American church, who potentially could be responsible for her murder. Like, because this is someone who had a knowledge of skinwalkers, just saying.
Okay.
Like they're just trying to put doubt,
throwing
right?
out. Yeah.
Whatever they can, right?
Wow.
To put doubt in the mind of the jury, right? However, that guy had a solid alibi, and he was at a sweat lodge in another city the night of the murder. So he couldn't have done it.
Very valid.
So the trial lasted about a month.
Okay.
So a little over a year after Sarah Saganitso's brutal murder, the jury found George Abney not guilty.
Okay.
And he was acquitted.
Okay. So what are we going to do now? How are we going to find the skinwalker?
We're not. The murder is unsolved.
Really?
Really.
Oh,
Never
no.
solved. Could have been a skinwalker.
They never found anything. They never found her belongings.
Nope. That's it.
Oh, no.
So there are people who believe that George Abney got away with murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe what I read was the majority of her family thinks he was innocent and they're fine with it.
Okay.
The majority of her family think it was a skinwalker.
Yikes. That's creepy AF. I can't believe they never found anything. Anything. That does make
this
it like
is as much as I absolutely hate telling you guys about unsolved things
shit.
Because it drives me crazy. I want to know the resolution.
It's a very 13-y, creepy off.
I don't know. I've seen some weird shit about skinwalkers. I'm just saying.
Now we all gotta watch that.
I really don't think it was George Abney. I think
it doesn't sound like they have enough evidence to say it was him.
No,
for sure. So I don't think there'd be
was
a way.
in really bad shape.
Yeah.
And he was having some really disturbed thoughts. And then he saw a newspaper article.
Probably. And it entered his psyche.
Never opened his mouth to his pastor.
He'd have probably been fine. Well, yeah. And maybe if they got him in a state of mind where he was stable and everything, and then see if he had any memories or if it was.
He didn't have any other evidence.
No.
He was only called into play because he had this dream.
Yeah, and a dream does not make a murder.
And then they supposedly had bite mark evidence. That was tying him to, they had nothing else. So I think they were right to acquit him because I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they had enough at all.
Mm-mm.
Boy, I really hope they kept whatever they had, at least tissue samples and stuff, so that they can revisit it later. Oh, it's so sad that none of her stuff was ever found.
Nope, none of her stuff was ever found. They don't have there was no justice for.
No. Yeah. Now we need to have the online watch parties of all the Skinwalker Ranch episodes so we can all comment together.
It's a really good show. Do you want to hear my sources?
Yeah, we better hear this.
Okay. So besides like my own personal information from all the TV I watch,
yes,
from the TV shows,
the Skinwalkers,
right?
yes,
which wasn't official.
Not an official source.
I had many articles from the Arizona Daily Sun newspaper from 1987 and 1988.
Gosh.
Articles from the Arizona Republic newspaper from 87 and 88. And then articles from the Lumberjack, which is the Northern Arizona University newspaper. Okay. I got a little more information on skinwalkers from allthat'sinteresting.com. There was some Wikipedia stuff, but it all I just had to keep reading articles to find out what the frick happened in this case. It was weird. And it came up because there was an article where it said I think the title of the article was something about defense to present skinwalker defense.
My God, theory or whatever.
Yeah. And I was like, what now?
I can't believe they let them put that in there. But I mean, it's part of that culture. So you kind of got to give that background. Oh, that's amazing. Creepy. Well, thank you. Good story.
So happy season 13. Here we go.
Happy season 13. Another fun episode.
Another
that
fun-filled
will freak
episode.
you out. Yeah.
Hope you guys aren't listening to this to go to sleep. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I dropped a lot of F-bombs in that one. Thanks for that.
Oh,
Whew.
sorry about that. All right.
Yeah, skinwalkers will do that to you. All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of ODFM. ODFM is hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Editing and production is by Kelly DeVries. Theme music is by Eric Swanson. For images from each episode and more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok with the handle ODFM Podcast. For video episodes, subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching for ODFM Podcast. If you are looking for more content, chances at prizes and more, become a Patreon fan at patreon.com/ODFM podcast. Subscribing to our Patreon is a great way to help us get better equipment, and our big goal is to hire an editor someday, so your contribution could really make a difference. If you can't give monthly, there are other ways you can help. Share us with your true crime friends. Word of mouth goes a long way. Or you can give us a one-time contribution through buymeacoffee.com/ODFM podcast. We appreciate your support, and someday we hope to make ODFM our main jobs with your help.